Hello all. So as some of you know, this is the soldering iron that I've been using, and it's way too hot even at its minimum temperature setting. It's not accurate at all, and yeah, it's just a pretty horrible soldering iron overall. So I ordered this one. This is a T12 soldering iron from Aliexpress. Let's see if I can find something to open it with. Here we go. Okay. So I'm pretty excited about this. I do not have a knife. Well, one sec. Let me grab a knife. Alright, here's a knife. So let's go ahead and do this properly. Yeah, they really covered this thing up with tape. Alright, power brick. And down here, is that it? Yep, okay. We have the soldering station itself. Let's take a look. Alright, so. Oh, it comes with some little adhesive feet for it. Wow, so right away I can tell this feels like, it feels very high quality. So it has a rotary encoder here, and yeah, this can spin all the way around. I'm sure it'll display something on the display. It can also be pressed, and that will give me access to some menus that are some configuration settings on here. We have a calibration dial here. Unfortunately, I do not have a thermometer for a soldering iron, so I won't be able to calibrate it. Instead, I'll just be kind of trying it out, try to start at like a pretty low temperature and just find something that feels comfortable for me. The actual temperature is not too important. Then the LED, of course, will just indicate when the tip itself is heating. Now, in this bag, we have an American power cable. I'm going to be doing some just quick checks here. Actually, I have my multimeter. I can do this right now. I want to check to make sure there's continuity between earth and or the two earth pins on here. So let's go ahead and just check that. Sometimes they're not connected at all. Good to make sure. Okay, that's connected. Now let's plug this into here. Okay, and check continuity between the earth pin. Alright, nothing to the connector on this, although I'm not sure that it should have continuity there. These screws are all painted, so I can't check continuity to them. Check. So it feels pretty flexible. Should be okay, but I might want to get a different lead for it. We'll see. Okay, and we have continuity from earth to one of the pins in here. So it looks like the soldering iron tip itself is earthed. All right, very good. Now here is the handle, the soldering iron handle. Let's clean up a little bit here. All right. So this, very nice lead. It has a silicone lead. Probably won't be able to burn that very easily, which is nice. Or rather, it'll burn, it won't melt like these plastic leads do. So that's very nice to have on a soldering iron tip. It's nice and flexible, it's reasonable length. Probably wouldn't want it to be any longer than that. Now, I was under the impression that it comes with a soldering iron tip, and it does. I just didn't see it at first. So let's go ahead and open this guy. This is a T12 soldering iron, as I said before, so it uses T12 soldering iron tips, which are unique in that the tip is connected directly to the heating element, so you get really fast heat up times and really good thermal capacity. So this goes in here, although I'm pretty sure there's yeah, okay. Yeah, so this gets stuck in here. Now, taking a look at this, yeah, this is a T12 BC2 soldering iron tip. I'm pretty sure this is actually BC 1.5 though, because that's what I asked for. So if we can just take a look at that tip. If we can actually focus on the tip, that'd be good. Yep, there it is. All right, I have more tips on the way. This is just the one that came with it. This whole kit was about $35, which is a pretty good price, including shipping from China. It took about 2 weeks to arrive. So, yeah, so everything is built into the tip of this, which is pretty cool. And I'll connect this. Now, I'm going to get this warmed up, and we'll do some test soldering in a moment. Okay, so I unfortunately don't have a better tool to hold it than this, but I do have it plugged in here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. I want it to be at the minimum temperature, so I'm just going to, all right, 200. Yeah, that looks like the minimum. All right, and it's showing it heating up. So I'm just going to set that off to the side here. And the first thing that I want to do is tin the tip. So let's see if that's enough to melt. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. That was pretty quick. So get some solder all over that. Okay. Make sure we get a good coating of solder on that. All right. Okay, good. So that heat up really quickly. The minimum temperature seems to be fine. Now, the display here is currently showing the live temperature, so I don't know how accurate it is, but it doesn't show the set temperature, it shows the live temperature. Kind of interesting. Now, I have here one of these little WS2812B LEDs, and I thought I'd just solder some wires onto it. So, now, what I know about this tip is it actually has a vibration sensor in it. So if I set it here, it should go into low temperature mode. So we'll see if it does that. And then when I pick it up, it should immediately ramp the temperature back up. We'll see if that works. I don't know how long it takes, so we'll see. Anyway, let's get some wire going. I just found some random wire. Thought we would try this out. So at the end of this video, I'm going to be taking this thing apart and just taking a look inside of it, see how it works. My understanding of it, based on what I read in the description on the Aliexpress page, was that it actually uses a knockoff MacBook charger to power it, which I thought was really funny. And I don't see why that would be a bad thing. It seems like that should work fine, and it does seem to be working fine. We'll open it up and take a look at what it looks like. So, all right, let's do some soldering. So I got some blue tack here. Everyone seems to love blue tack for soldering, so we'll be trying that out. Now, okay, this lead, it's very nice to be using some soldering iron with a silicone lead. It's a big upgrade. The flexibility is very nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna put some solder on these pads. This temperature may not be high enough. Yeah, I think I may need to up the temperature a little bit. So it goes up in increments of 10 degrees, by the way. So I'm now at 240. I've also heard that these T12 tips can take a little while to sort of break in, and until then their temperature isn't spot on, and it can be a little wacky. That's okay though. I guess I should tin these wires as well. Unfortunately, I don't have anything with high thermal mass to solder. I don't think I do anyway. So I can't really test its capabilities on that front right now. I will be able to do that in the future. I actually have a project coming down the line that involves a DC barrel jack, and those things are pretty hefty, so. All right, so that's tinned. All right. Okay, got the 5 volts on. Okay, data in. Now let's. Oh, actually, I'm going to do the data in next. Let's do data in. Shaky hands. All right, good. And ground at last. Okay. All right, we got those on. So we'll take a look at those solder joints. I'm going to set this down. All right, the middle one has too much solder on it, but it doesn't look like any of those are bridging, which is great. Should I try to get the solder off of there? Nah, it'll be fine. Let's go ahead and strip this wire, and I'm not gonna stick this into an Arduino right now. That's not what this video is about. We've demonstrated that it works fine. It works way better than that old soldering iron, which I can't find now, which is completely fine with me. I have soldered, let's see if I can get them in the frame here. I have soldered a bunch of these LEDs together with the old soldering iron, and this is solid cord wire, so that may have an effect as well, but this was much less fun to solder than this was. This went pretty well. So yeah, it's nice to have a flexible lead. It's nice to have the sort of more ergonomic soldering iron. I like the tip more. So all around a better soldering iron. So I'm pretty happy with that. So let's go ahead and take it apart. Okay, so I have the soldering station here, and I have a screwdriver. Let's get into it. So you can buy this thing as a kit. I did not, because the cost difference was not significant. That's the wrong screwdriver. This may be the wrong one entirely. Let me go grab the correct one. Alright, well, I got a different screwdriver here, and I still could not get these screws out. They will not budge. I don't know why they're, or how they're so secure. I haven't tried the back ones yet. Let me try those real quick. Oh, that one moves. Okay. I think I'm going to need to get both side screws off, though. But let's try this. Yeah, I was trying everything to get the front ones off. I tried a flathead, and it was just bending the flathead. So, yeah, I'm not sure about those. But I really don't want to strip them. Alright, let's do this. Okay, so I got all four. Took some brute force, but I think I'm going to be able to get this top off. So, last screw. That is hilarious. Look at that. It's an Apple charger. Oh my god, what a design. This is exactly what you would expect out of China. That's hilarious. I'm sure that's a knockoff. Let's see what it's, if I can read the stuff on the side there. Can I get some more light? So, AC input 1.5 amps, V85, 80, that doesn't make sense to me, 85 volts? I don't know, maybe it's supposed to say 85 to 200 and whatever volts. I don't know. But, wow, what an interesting design. I can't pull this thing out of here. It is stuck on. I probably could if I really was committed, but I'm not. I do not feel like I need to get it out of there. It looks quite used, which is also pretty funny. Like, yeah, it says Delta on it. I'm pretty sure that's a knockoff brand. Oh, but it also says Apple Japan. I'm going to do some research on this, and I'll either include a clip in this video or I'll put some information in the description of this video about the power supply in here if I can find anything. It says 24.5 volts at 2.65 amps. So that's like, what, like 60 something watts? This is rated for 75, so it's probably about 75 in. That's about right. That's what I'd expect. Let's take a look at the ground wire. Ground comes along, and it just goes directly onto the PCB right here. So that's the ground wire, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and then the power switch on the back here is connected. There's a wire that comes onto the power switch, and then it goes into the Apple power brick, and then the other wire goes to another one of the pins on here. So, okay, that all makes sense. And then on the front board here, I don't know if I can get this off. Let's see, I can pull that off. I think in order to get this board out, though, I would have to desolder the whatever this thing is called, this connector. And I'm not interested in doing that, so I'm not going to. But I can see in there, there's a long chip in there. That's probably the processor. And a smaller chip in there, probably a voltage regulator or something. To drive the processor, we have resistor, capacitor. These are really thin wires that are coming into the circuit board here. That's pretty thin. Wow. And it also looks like the ground wire is connected directly to the negative. So they're just referencing this whole circuit to ground by doing that. Also very interesting. All right. So overall, this seems like a really good product for $35. We'll have to see how the power supply holds up, of course, but I can't really speak to that right now. Also, it's just a 24 volt power supply, so you could get any off-the-shelf 24 volt 3 amp power supply, and you could power this thing. You could just swap it out. I know they sell other ones on Aliexpress as well, but for $35, this is a really great package, and the T12 tips are fantastic because they heat up very quickly, and the vibration sensor is nice. I wasn't able to test that, but I'm sure it'll work, and I'm sure it'll be convenient. I can actually hear it in there rattling around, or I hope that's it. I could take this apart, but I'm sure it's just some connections that go on to the tip. Nothing really special about that. Besides that, yeah, I'll put a link in the description of where I got this. I'm looking forward to using it a lot more in some upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.